so sweet. Thank you guys. It has been a crazy year. But I love you guys, and that's why I continue to do what I do. So thank you so much. That's so sweet. I'm going to treasure this. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye. I am Christy Battle, and I am biology and forensic science teacher here at Lanier High School. So Connor was born July 16th, 2012. He's my middle child. He is such a happy baby, just always smiling. Everything was funny to him. Just such a happy little kid growing up. He adored his big sister, Kaylee. She just adored him, took such good care of him. Connor's favorite thing to do was swim. So when he was younger, we put him in swimming lessons right away. He just loved the water, the playground. He was just such a typical boy. And he had fun doing all the things that he wasn't supposed to do sometimes. But we just love him so very much. 1, 2, 3.
That's slow.
Was that too, baby? Yeah. Right around the age of 3, we noticed some changes happening with Connor. We noticed some behavioral changes. We noticed some things were changing with his eye. Not both, but just one. His right eye was starting to turn inward a little bit. So we thought, okay, maybe that was just something we could correct with glasses. It's pretty typical, it happens sometimes. And just behavioral changes in general. We started noticing him acting very out of character for him. We also started noticing that when he walked, he would actually walk to the right a little bit. So his gait was off. They call it ataxia. And so we definitely felt like there were some things going on with Connor. And we tried to get those taken care of through his pediatrician and eye doctor. So we took him to his pediatrician, and they didn't see anything that they thought was out of norm for Connor. His temperature was fine, everything looked fine to them. They thought maybe he just had a little infection that was kind of throwing his balance off a little bit. They recommended that we take him to the ophthalmologist, the eye doctor, so we made an appointment immediately. We took him to the eye doctor. Of course, at the age of 3, it's very hard to get them to stay still long enough to even possibly make a proper diagnosis, but they did the best that they could, and they didn't see anything that they felt was off. They just thought that Connor had different shaped eyes, so when you looked at him it appeared like it was moving inward, but they didn't see anything that they thought was drastically wrong. So we continued to push forward. As the behaviors got worse, I had to make an appointment for him with behavioral psychology. As a teacher, you just have those instincts, and you want to make sure you get the help that you need to get right away. And even as a mom, your intuition always kicks in. I didn't for one second think that there wasn't something wrong with him. I knew that there was something wrong with him. But every doctor we went to didn't see any cause for alarm. Brain tumor was never even mentioned in their vocabulary. We noticed things getting very drastically different. One week things took a very quick turn and Connor just started to sleep a lot, and one day he wouldn't wake up for the whole day except to get up and throw up. And he would tell us that he had headaches. And so as soon as I got that call from my mom, I left here. I left here immediately and I took him straight to urgent care, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, satellite location. I'm not sure why I didn't venture into children's healthcare before now, but immediately they knew something was very wrong with Connor. Within 20 minutes, they had contacted the hospital, Scottish Rite downtown, and had an ambulance come and pick him up. At that time, Connor was being very combative because brain tumors control a lot of movements, a lot of behaviors, and so they actually had to hold Connor down and even to get him on the ambulance because he was being so combative. I think that the paramedics knew right away, working with children so much, their sole job is working with kids through Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. But I think that they knew right away, but they didn't want to tell me. And so once we got to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, within 20 minutes as well, they had taken Connor back for a CAT scan, and I'll never forget that moment when the doctor came in and told me to ask me if I wanted to have a seat. Actually, he said, "I think you need to have a seat." My husband was there with me at the time as well, and I just remember I knew all along, but I had to keep fighting to get answers for him. And I fell to my knees and I just said a quick prayer and just waited for him to tell me what he was going to tell me, because knowing that there's a big problem and hearing it are two different things. So the doctor said, "I'm sorry to tell you this, but the results showed a large mass in the back of your son's brain." And that's all he said to me, because at that time, I don't even remember what hit me. The chaplain walked in behind him, and when you see the chaplain walk in, you just think you're going to hear the worst news possible. Thankfully, at that time, we didn't know how great the outcome would be, but that was an incredibly scary moment for us to have the doctors tell you that your son has a very life-threatening brain tumor, and that his brain was so swollen right now, which is why he couldn't wake up. And so this is what began our brain tumor journey. So October 19th is the day that our brain tumor journey really started. Doctors are pretty convinced that Connor's had this brain tumor growing all his life, that those cells were there very early on, and because what Connor has, juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma, it is a very slow growing brain tumor. It's not incredibly aggressive. So unfortunately, it took 4 years for us to know that there was a problem. When Connor had to undergo his brain surgery, they had to cut through all 3 hemispheres of his brain in order to get to the brain tumor. And so this affected everything with Connor. It's affected all of our lives. His siblings, when he was diagnosed. They warned us that we would be in the hospital for quite a while. For the first week, we were in pediatric intensive care unit. I immediately had to take a leave of absence from school here. I had to take medical leave, which was going to be a financial burden for us, but it wasn't the important thing for me at that point in time. I knew that I needed to be there for Connor. Unfortunately, that did pull me away from my other two kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old as well, that I didn't get to see for a month, except here and there. So that really affected their lives as well, because they're used to mom being there to get them up and get them dressed and get them to school and just be there to do all the fun things with them. They weren't able to see their brother because in the hospital during that time it's flu season. And then we were also on a floor where there were a lot of other cancer patients, and young children couldn't be there because of the spread of germs. So the only time that Connor could see his brother and sister is if we went down to the cafeteria, or Children's Healthcare of Atlanta has this amazing kids zone where they bring people all the time to do fun activities with the kids and meet some celebrities and football players, and there's just all kinds of amazing things that they do down there. So I had to take the next 2.5 months off of work and stayed in the hospital with Connor every single day. I had to get help, outside help. My parents, his parents, Cody, my husband, had to take off quite a bit of work too, just to make this all possible. But anything that we needed to do to make sure that Connor got what he needed, and to make sure that he knew that we were there for him 100%, and that he was gonna fight this, and that we were there to fight it with him, was the most important thing. So at the time of Connor's diagnosis, he was very weak. Connor wasn't thriving because the brain tumor was so large that it really was inhibiting him from being able to do a lot of things properly. He didn't want to eat very much. He didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to talk to his friends. He really just wanted to be left alone because he didn't feel well. But he didn't know how to explain that to me. He didn't know how to tell me that he wasn't feeling well. He would tell me that he had headaches, and he would just point to his head like this. He was losing weight, which is another way that we knew that something was wrong. He wouldn't eat very much at all. And he started not wanting to play with even his brother and sister, which is very abnormal for him. He loves playing with his brother and sister. So I think the main things that really have gotten me through this, or even to the point where I am now, is really, number one, my faith. I've really just trusted that things were going to be put in place for us to get through this. The second thing has just been the amazing support system from all of my friends, from my family, from my students. Every day was like Christmas for Connor in the hospital. I had visitors coming every day, teachers from here. I had students that came up, my daughter's teacher, just bringing care packages for us to be able to get through our stay at the hospital, down to toothpaste and shampoo and just things for Connor to do while he was in the hospital, coloring books. And oh my goodness, his room was filled with so many Star Wars things from my students. That was the most, that is what touched me more than anything, was just to know how much of an impact that I've left for someone to care so much about me. It just meant so much to me.
2, 3. Whoa, that was a good shot, buddy.
So Connor's very happy now. We finally have gotten to a point where he is becoming a normal kid again, or at least feeling like one. He was able to go back to school after 6 months of being out, which has been amazing for him. Sugar Hill Church and their weekday program has just been phenomenal for them. The teachers there adore, take such good care of him. They send me pictures every day of Connor having fun. When Connor was diagnosed, I knew immediately that I needed to make a IEP for him, meaning that he would need some assistance through the special education program. And so that has really been an awesome resource for us. He's just really thriving right now and happy. And we hope that that doesn't change in a month when we find out results about his brain tumor regrowth. So I think really right now, the best thing that anyone can do for us is just pray. Pray that the tumor doesn't continue to grow. Pray that the doctors have answers and how we can make sure that it doesn't continue to keep coming back. And that we just can move on from this and be positive about everything. And that's really the best that anyone can do for us right now. So I think the first way that all of you guys can support the cause and help spread awareness for brain tumors is go to Relay for Life 1. Support our Relay for Life team here. They do an amazing job in just supporting cancer patients, people who have died from cancer or are currently undergoing cancer. And I was just so thankful and touched by our Relay for Life team here, who put Connor's name on the back of the shirt as a surprise to me. That was just amazing. So how has this all impacted me? I think that it's made me realize that I'm a strong person. I've really had to prioritize a lot of things. Those of you that know me, I have a very kind heart, and I take a lot of pride in the things that I do, and I very rarely ask for help. And my kids here at the school, my friends, they're always come first to me. And so I've had to myself realize that I can't do it all. I can't be Wonder Woman. Right now I need to be super mom. And I think this is really what I needed as well, for me to realize that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay to step back from things and put your family first. It's really been awesome for me to be able to go home every afternoon and pick my kids up and take them to the park and just be a mom. And so our battle isn't over, and so I'm gearing up and I'm putting my cape on, and I'm just gonna continue to be super mom and be there for Connor and all my kids, because it does affect us all. This is a family effort, and it's just gonna make us stronger, and it's gonna continue to help me grow as a person too.
Well, Miss Battle, she is an amazing person, a great friend, and a super mom. And I completely admire how strong of a person that she is to be able to handle all the obstacles that she's had to deal with, in addition to worrying about her students, wanting to be here for them, concerned that they're not where they need to be, she has so many other things that she has on top of her plate that it's amazing to me how she still is able to come to school, compose herself, just go on. Like, if you didn't know what was going on, you would think that nothing was wrong at home. And to see how strong she is and how dedicated she is to her family and to her students is incredible. I've learned to become a better person by looking at how she is able to handle all of these things. And I hope that I'm half the mom that she is, and half the friend. I'm praying that I'm as good a friend as to her as she is to me. So I just wanted to say that we love you, Christy. We are there for you. Anything you need, I'm there. My family's there. And we're definitely praying for you and your family and for little Connor.
Hey, Mrs. Battle. This is Dr. G here. I wish that people really understood, the life of a teacher. There are times where people expect for us to just show up and give our all every single day, regardless of what's happening in our lives, regardless of loved ones, of things that are just Murphy's Law sometimes. What you have gone through and what you continue to fight along with Connor, I could not imagine being a parent and showing up and still doing the great work and the remarkable job that you do every single day. You are truly, truly an inspiration to me and for many others. I know that, really, words really truly can't explain what you're going through as a family, but I know one thing. Every time that you're here on campus, you are changing the lives of young people, as well as impacting the lives of your peers. You are strong, you are super supportive, you are always high-spirited. I don't know how you do it, but I'm so thankful that you do. Thank you for just being an awesome, awesome friend. Thank you for being a great mother, a great wife. Thank you for being a great colleague to all of us here at Lanier High School. We're going to continue to pray for you. I always have you in my thoughts, especially Connor. He's a little tough little guy, and I just enjoy seeing him when he's smiling, because if people cannot understand to look in the heart of a child and see that all that is happening in this world that we live in, to where a child can still just smile regardless of what they're going through, to me, that is what it's all about, and that's worth living. So for that, it is definitely worth fighting with you, definitely worth continuing to be a prayer warrior for you and your family. We wish you all the best, and just know that I'm going to be here with you every step of the way, along with your friends and colleagues and family here at Lanier High School. Thank you very much.
Christy Battle. I just wanted to say that I'm so glad that we've become friends and that I've been able to be your colleague here at Lanier. For the last few years, you make this school a better place. You make my life happier. I'm so humbled and respectful and in awe of you and the way you teach your students and how much love you give to them and your environmental club. And I'm also intrigued and so humbled by the fact that you give all that you can to everyone that you know. When you have nothing left to give, you find a way to reach out and give even more. After what you've gone through in the last year, everybody has rallied around you to show you how much they love and care about you, because you love and care about us so much. So I appreciate you. I love you. Thanks.
Hey Christy, I just wanted to say how much I love you and I adore you and I admire you. From the amount of positivity that one person holds within their self-being, it is awe-inspiring to me every day. It makes me really sad that you and I didn't really get to know each other, even though we went to high school. We went to high school together, y'all. We graduated the same year. But our class is so big we didn't get to know each other. And that's one of the regrets I have, is that we didn't get to have this connection until we came here to Lanier, and I'm so thankful that our paths have crossed this way. I am so proud of you. I am so amazed and astounded by everything that you take in stride, effortlessly. That you give so much to this community. You give so much to all of the kids at the school, to your own kids, being room mom, doing the cheer stuff with the little kids. It's just, I don't know how you do it every single day. One thing I know is I want to be you when I grow up. And I love you very much, and we are so, so thankful to have you in this community, and just know that we are all here for you every day.